Hi guys, it's Mark Zickery of Mr. Sci-Fi and Space Command, but most germane to this commentary, Mark Zickery of the Twilight Zone Companion. So we're going to be talking about episode 3 of Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone, an episode called Replay. Now, first of all, it's in the tradition of some of the classic Twilight Zone episodes that have a specific object that gets magical abilities. There's certain episodes like a most unusual camera or a kind of a stopwatch, etc. But this episode was about a woman who's taking her son to college, his first day of college, and she's a self-made woman. She worked hard to leave her neighborhood where her brothers were shot. She's taking her son to an African-American college, and they're both African-American, and they're talking in a cafe, and she brings out her father's old camcorder to record him on his first day of school. And a racist cop comes in, and essentially he keeps confronting them, and it leads to violence. And she finds that she can replay the video camera and go back to that moment, and she keeps trying to find ways to not have her son get beaten and or killed, most likely killed. And nothing is working. She tries to be nice to the cop. She tries to leave early. Nothing works. Finally, so she ends up having to go back to her brother, going back to her old school, her old house, and ultimately the group of students at the college with their cameras, and her camera is able to basically stare down the cops. The racist cop is joined by other cops and get them all to back down. I liked it better than the first two, but still the problem is Jordan Peele is not writing or directing these episodes, so they're very much kind of cookie cutter in a certain way. And while this is a very important subject, it's very preachy. It's very much on the soapbox. I liked it, but I can see where a lot of people wouldn't. And it was very much, we start here, we go here, and here's where we end. And you could tell from the beginning where it was going to go. And and that's not something you want with a really great Twilight Zone story. With a great Twilight Zone story, you want inevitability, but also surprise. And that's a very, very challenging balancing act. But this episode had something to say, which was good. It had good performances. Production values were fine. But again, it was extremely, let's do one about cops, let's do one about Black Lives Matter, which is, again, fine. But, episodes that Serling did that were didactic, like One More Pallbearer, or I Am the Night, Color Me Black, or The Shelter, those tend to be Serling on his soapbox, where it's kind of like, you kind of cringe a little bit because it's so one note, and the characters aren't really characters, they're just in service of the point. Whereas other episodes, like Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, has a huge point about mob violence, and yet the people seem more real, the story is more fresh, it stood the test of time, and it doesn't quite, you don't feel you're being beaten over the head with a stick, essentially, so again, we'll see where Twilight Zone is headed. I wish that Jordan Peele were writing and directing these episodes, because again, he's the host and it's being touted as Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone, but really so far in the first 3 episodes, it hasn't had a strong authorial voice. It's just kind of been a writer's room trying to come up with turns on Twilight Zone and doing what most writer's rooms that try to do that do, which is, let's have a camcorder and you can reverse time, and let's have it be about this element of the day or this moment, this story of the moment. And whereas, again, great fantasy stories are stories that you don't, they're not obvious, like Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. When Matheson thought that up, it's like a gremlin on the wing. I mean, what's that commenting on other than, a great situation that you'd never have guessed at? So, anyway, that's about it for now. Well, I'll keep watching Twilight Zone. I'll keep reporting in on it. We'll see if it gets better. We'll see what it does. Meantime, with Space Command, we're ramping up to shoot a lot more. We're going to have a Kickstarter campaign shortly. We're going to be shooting the rest of the 2-hour story as we're finishing the 2-hour pilot and getting it to everybody. Keep watching Mr. Sci-Fi for lots of great announcements. We're going to be casting a lot of more very famous science fiction actors. Many announcements to come. We shot the scene with Michelle Nichols, as you know. Went great. And if you want to buy Space Command shares, email me at markzickery@gmail.com or call me at 323-363-1259. They're just $7,500 each, and they help us build alien spaceships and stuff. And And you can also, pledge at patreon.com/backslash Mark Zicree, or the Kickstarter campaign as we started. I'm going to be in Atlanta at the Atlanta convention, the Doctor Who convention, shortly. I'm going to be at the performance of Alien in a few days in New Jersey, the high school play that's getting such notice, and I urge everyone to check it out online. And lots of other things coming. So until next time, we'll see you soon. I'm in Morro Bay right now, and life is good. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.